Welcome to the virtual reality interview series. My name is Nikia Whitaker Woody. I am the founder and event coordinator for the VA World Conference and the VA World Empowerment Circle and community. The virtual reality interview series is where we come together not just to tell the tales and spin the narrative and make it all look good, but to share the realities, the highs, the lows, and the resilience it takes to keep going in this entrepreneurship journey. So, without further ado, and with great anticipation, let's pave the way for this conversation. Everyone, and it is me, Nakia. I am the event coordinator for the VA World Conference, and today on our virtual reality interview series, our enterprising visionary is Delisha Wills. Delisha is the founder of Gifted and Winning, and she's an art, and she believes that her brand is an artistic representation of how she sees custom fashion and written art. And although she's been in this space for years, she just started her business in 2023. So we are going to get to know her, and then we're going to go buy something. Okay, so Miss Wills, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy you are here. I am so glad we made the connection in the hallway.
Most definitely.
Okay, so first question. What is something interesting about you that most people don't expect?
I like my quiet time. I like my quiet time. When it's time to turn up and it's time to have a good time, I'm there for it. But I love my quiet time. I like getting back here in my little space and just playing with, my machines, playing with my gear and seeing what else I can create. That's just my space where I love to be.
That is so interesting. I like to just turn up. So I love to turn up. So that is something that most people don't know about me until they see my memories. So we're gonna get into your business life. Where's that question? How are you keeping your business relevant and innovating things?
So I'm using a lot of social media. Like a lot of my stuff, 90% of my stuff, 95 even, goes through social media. I try to utilize the Facebook and Instagram. But my main following is on Facebook. So I just started with the whole running ads thing on Facebook, and it had a lot to do with my book. So I ran ads for that, which they did okay, they did okay. And that's my main source as far as how I'm trying to keep my business relevant, how I'm trying to keep it going, because a share goes a long way. It
Mhm.
goes a long way. It takes, one drop, you get one new customer who comes back, they share it. Now you've got their got the eyes of their audience on your product. So yeah, it's social media for me for sure.
Cool, cool. So, with your decision to use social media, are you trying different tactics? I know I've seen a couple of your lives. I definitely see when you share or repost content from your customers. What else are you doing?
Right now, that's the bulk of it. Like I said, I'm new to the whole ad space. I'm very new to that. So I still got to get that down. You know what I mean? Because it's a
Yeah,
process.
it
We
is.
kind of just wing it as we go. But I do want to hone in a little bit on that because I'm constantly seeing ads from other brands. It's like, why not you? So you got to be able to put yourself out there and get other eyes on the product.
Definitely, definitely. I think visibility is really, really important. That's why you see me everywhere.
Yeah, and it really is for sure. It is.
Yeah,
You can't
visibility is
be
it.
scared. You can't be scared. You gotta get on live when you don't want to. You gotta make a post when you don't want to. It's just what it is.
Yes, my team loves to get on my case because I don't schedule things. Like all of my content is native off the top of my head. If I'm feeling it, I post. If I see it, I'm sharing it. So I have to get more intentional
Hmm.
about you need to plan this out and you need to have a thought process and it doesn't be so I'm working on it. So everybody, has to go on their own journey. I
Yeah,
know that I personally had to learn that I don't have to be on everyone else's schedule and nobody has to be on mine. I don't sleep much, so you will go and see me half the night. But
So you
everyone
don't
doesn't have to do that.
schedule any of your posts?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. Like I try to, but it's just like, man, I would look up and then you get back on, you're like, man, when did I post that? Like, oh, you
No,
schedule
I
it.
mean, when I first started, I was very regimented in that, I had a batching day. So I would sit there and I make all my content for the whole month. So it would be videos, graphics, all the copy, everything, and I'd schedule it. But then I felt like I wasn't present,
Mm-hmm.
because what if something went on that day and it doesn't even relate to what I was talking about? So, I mean,
Yeah.
I just feel like for me, being that my brand is based on transparency and authenticity, they kind of need to see me in the mix of this girl is driving me nuts or I had a good time. So I think my brand lends more to the let me just do it on my own pace.
What about 2 to 3 scheduled posts per day and then wing it the rest?
That is true.
That's
I have one of my team members covering the scheduled stuff and I do the spurty stuff.
you can do the fun stuff.
I mean, she likes doing it. And it's not even that it's not me because she's going back in my archive of stuff and she's pulling it out. And so all she's doing is making a new graphic. It's still mine. So
Yeah, it's still
that's
your
that's the joy of having 5 years of content.
that's a lot of content.
I literally just brain dump stuff in Google Drive.
Yeah.
And it's there and you just can go and pick something out and it's relevant. So that's great too. I wanted to ask you, how do you handle work-life balance? Because I know we were talking at lunch one time and you said that you work a full time. I know you have a family, you're doing your business. I saw your mom's birthday the other day. So like, how are you managing it all?
I'm not. Just kidding. I'm uh, I'm just like the next entrepreneur. I'm doing the best I can, and like I said, when I'm back here and I'm in this mode, like I have couches in here and stuff like that. My wife comes in here, my daughter, she's in and out of here because her room is right next door.
Yeah.
She's in and out. So managing that is trying to get them involved. Like I have no problem as, hey, what you think this look like to my wife? Like, do you think I should do this crop top? Like, what if I put this design on the sleeve or whatever the case? Keeping her involved, it feels more like I think it creates a balance because it's still time. And also, we got TV in here, but it's like she here and she present, but at the end of the day, she can still be on her phone, she can still watch TV, she can still do whatever it is that she want to do in reality, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just at the end of the day, like I said, I think we do the best we can. And another thing, like for example, like yesterday was my mom's birthday. But my daughter has gymnastics on Wednesday, so my mom came to her gymnastic lesson. Like you gotta find ways to get that time in, no matter what the situation is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so she loves it though. Like she loves seeing Aspen and like Aspen, and she a handful.
Oh,
she is
believe me, I had one. That one.
she
Yeah.
probably like she probably one of the biggest 5-year olds you probably ever see. Like
Yes, because my nieces are like this small. Like they come to my knees. I'm like, y'all short.
my daughter is like she probably like to my like above like here. She
Mhm.
like here.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
She's
No.
a girl and
Yeah, I
she's
have to literally get on the floor to be at their level. I'm like,
Mhm.
nah, we can talk on the sofa because I
Yeah.
can't. But yeah, I do find that you have to find the balance. Me and my daughter, we always love to do road trips. So now I've been doing the little chauffeur mom series,
I
and
thought
everybody's getting to see that she pay me no mind regardless, no matter who it is. She just don't pay me no mind.
she
But
doing her
I mean,
world.
yeah, but I mean, it's a way for us to spend time. It's a way for me to model to people that, I find ways to do it even when I'm doing other things. So, even though I'm busy and I have a job and 2 businesses and I still enjoy a social life, I find the little ways to spend time and do the things I want to do. So yeah,
Yeah,
finding a balance is subjective to everyone because
yeah.
everybody's idea of balance is not the same. Some people literally want to shut the computer and go in the back and just be with their people.
Yeah. But like you said, that don't work for everybody. Like I can bring you into this world too, you know. It's
Mhm.
not like, oh, this is something that's boring or uptight, you know. Creating is creating
Yes,
and it's
I love
fun.
to create.
You know what I'm
Love
saying?
to create.
You can bring people into this world and they can still enjoy it,
Yes,
enjoy side conversation or what the case may be, you know. It's a space for that, you know what I mean?
yes, definitely a space. I love being creative. It's just something I've always done. I wanted to be an interior designer. So I love colors and I love DIY. I'm redoing the kitchen. I'm
Mhm.
redoing my office. So I'm always doing something creative because it just makes me feel good.
I got my DIY tool belt too.
I have a toolbox. I
I
got
got
the
one of those too.
sander, I got the sander, I got the drill, I got a box.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Definitely. Turn something up, that's my favorite thing.
You mean
Okay.
business.
Mhm. I try to make sure I have a full life. I am never sitting down bored. I
Yeah,
mean, you
that
know, when we were growing up, they would be like, "You can't say you bored. You can't say you bored." So I mean, I learned to fill my time.
yeah,
You know, that's the way we were taught.
for sure. For
Sure,
sure.
these days they be bored all the time.
Be bored with 1,000 things to do.
We ain't had no Wi-Fi or no phone. I would have been in heaven then with Wi-Fi. Oh, I never left my room. Okay. So, is there a particular failure or setback that became a really good stepping stone?
Like I think like my second release. Like the second release I had, like you know how like when people know you about to start doing something, and so it's like that first release is huge. You know what I mean? It's like everybody supporting, everybody on the wagon. You know what I mean? And then when it came to that second release, I think it was a failure because it's like I didn't have the reach. But then it's like I when I went back and looked at it, the same energy that I put into that first release, I didn't put into that second release.
Mm,
And it showed. It like the numbers showed.
yeah.
Like my conversion rate on my website, it showed the numbers were terrible. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that was probably one of my biggest failures thus far. Like my first release was in September of last year, so you know it hasn't been a whole lot, but I do believe that that taught me
Mhm.
this piece. Yeah, I prepared ahead of time. You know what I mean? I prepared ahead of time. I put the content out. I really, you know what I'm saying? I had the energy put into this release from the book to the 1111 collection. I put my time and effort into it, and I really the numbers showed. You know what I mean? They showed. Like I
That's
feel like
good. Listen.
it's the 14th, and like I feel like I'm just slowing down. I got packages right here that I got to get to the post office tomorrow, but it's like it showed. Like if you put the work,
Mhm.
and if you don't put the work in, it's gonna show.
Yes. I had a lesson last year in that I grew too fast. I
Mm,
went from having 10 people at my conference to having 36 people at my conference. And I went from paying like 750 for the speaker, and then all of a sudden I was paying 3,000. And it wasn't converting into sales. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why did I do this? I can't handle this. I'm going broke. You know, all those things were going through my head. And I'm like, but I can't quit. But I can't cancel. I mean, I'm gonna look stupid. And I mean,
yeah,
I literally had to cancel,
yeah,
and that hurt me because I'm like, I'm not one who deals with failure a lot. I'm an overachiever, and to know that something I put so much time and effort and energy in was not working, um just was devastating to me. But I
yeah,
mean, I went on live and I announced that it was canceled, and I had my little pity party for a day. And the next day, I was back at it, revamping everything. This year, I only spent $450, and everything is working out great. I got a new team behind me. So, I mean, you know, it sometimes takes a really hard lesson for us to be like, this is what you missed the first time.
yeah,
And I think a lot of people have that issue when they grow too fast.
yeah.
So,
And for me, it wasn't even growth. It was like I
yeah,
assumed
stuff in the way, right?
I I
Business.
ass- I assumed that okay, boom, they killed it on this one. You know what I mean? Like we finna do it again.
Mhm.
No, no, it
Yeah.
was just not that case. And I think like I said, I didn't put that energy into it.
Mhm.
Just like you know, all the social media posts, all the some like y'all share this. You know what I'm saying? Like when that first release came around, I'm telling you, I was hitting it was like over 5,000 reach on some of those posts. Like, and that the same thing for this month, like that book, and like it was like shares in the 40 range, likes in the 200 range. The reach on them, which is the most important to me, because that goes by, how many people sharing, how many people seeing it. It was like almost 10,000. You know what I mean? And like the conversion of that with the sales, it showed.
Yeah.
So like you gotta put the work in. Like
Yeah.
you got,
I
especially if
think I think in this environment of TikTok for one, people think that my friend gonna get me there. All I gotta
Mhm.
do is put something half-assed out and I'm gonna be rich. And they don't realize, that ain't the way life works. It
No.
takes effort, it's gonna cost some money, and everybody ain't gonna be in your camp.
Yep. Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I have a huge family. I mean, if you see me on social, I have a huge family, and not one of my relatives have bought anything from me in the whole 6 years.
Wow.
But I mean, they're not my audience either. But I mean, you could have bought something and donated it to somebody, or you could have shared the post, or So I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize, and
That
they
share,
they think that you automatically have an audience because you have people, and that's not necessarily the case.
that share though, that share is money. You know what I mean? Even if you never buy anything from me, I have family members who they don't buy because, like you said, you're not. It's not their tea. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or whatever the case may be. But it's like, I mean, honestly, like that share though, it goes a long way,
Yeah.
because imagine them having 5,000 follow friends,
Yes.
7,000 followers, because you met out at 5.
Hmm.
You don't know what the reach will be. You don't know who you're gonna hit within that realm that's
Hmm.
gonna to the next. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Hmm.
And then just like that overall support, like I
Hmm.
know book is not everybody's cup of tea, because it's not everybody's story. It's my
Right.
story. And
Hmm.
it takes a certain person who's been through certain things to really feel what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But when I say my family, my friends, my audience, like they showed out. They
Hmm.
showed out, and the numbers showed it. Like I'm just so appreciative, you know what I mean? That people around me, like, it don't
Yeah.
matter. I don't care. My
Yeah.
wife, man, it don't matter what you selling, they gonna buy it. It's love.
Hmm. And that's love. Yeah, that's love. I
Love,
mean, a lot of people
support.
don't have that.
Everybody don't have that.
Yeah, that's what we learned in our
We
roundtable.
found that out, didn't we?
We did. That is what we learned in our roundtable. So, we definitely appreciate our families because, it could be much worse. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
definitely appreciate that. Um,
definitely.
okay, so you just started. So what financial considerations do you consider to be crucial for any entrepreneur?
Don't spend that money. Once we gotta invest, right? We gotta invest in it. But once you see that money start coming in, don't spend it.
Hmm.
Buy your product, buy what you need to actually, what I'm saying, get the good the item out.
Hmm.
But all the rest of it, you gotta put it in that business account and just let it sit there. Let it sit there, because it's gonna be something that come up.
Hmm.
It's gonna be a release that don't do good. It's gonna be something.
Yeah,
If you don't have nothing to fall back on, you might as well be all the way back to day one. You know what I
right.
mean? So
Definitely.
that would be my advice. Like when you see the money trickling in, no matter how excited you get, just let it sit there.
And sometimes it doesn't even have to do with spending because like I let go of a client in January, and in
Mhm.
the same month my job changed. So all of a sudden my income was different.
Yeah.
So I had to use mine, because it had to be able to sustain itself. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
have a job, so I could take care of me, but my business had to take care of itself with what was in the reserves. And that was
Yeah.
kind of hard because it's like, I want to do this, but I can't really move forward. The conference is coming up. I had to
Yeah.
pay for the Airbnb. The Airbnb had to be paid for. I have
Yeah.
to make sure my team gets there. I have these things that are a part of my brand, and it don't matter what's going on elsewhere. I have to do what I'm supposed to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good thing to say. The money be looking good when you wake up and you got money emails.
Yeah.
Like,
But
awesome.
it's like cha-ching. But
Yes, but the
when you don't touch,
reality is,
when you don't touch it, when your situation changed, just like you said, you had the money there though, didn't you?
yeah,
Because you didn't play it, you didn't mess it off when it came in. You waited. you did what you're supposed to do, and I think that's it's hard, but I think it's necessary.
Yeah, but I mean, all of us weren't raised financially minded, and two, it might be that first, this is mine, I can do what I want, it's coming in, and because I mean, I feel like this. I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I don't have any formal business training. I hate math. I just hate it. And
Yeah,
in my household, I wasn't taught about money, so it's hard sometimes because you just don't know.
yeah,
So
sure.
that is a really good point. Um, how do you deal with the business strategy, being that you're in a competitive market? Are you paying attention? Are you worried? Are you just keeping an eye out? What are you doing?
I mean, honestly, I'm just staying in my lane. Like, the smart person, you gonna see it. You
Mhm,
know, like it's not nothing that can be denied.
mhm.
I like to stay in my own lane because what may be working for them, that may not be my cup of tea.
Right.
What's that may not be my style, and my style is very different. In a sense of what I put out. I try to keep it on the motivation side. I'm not trying to copy and print something that's all over Instagram. That's just not me. It's not my. And so I want to keep an eye on it because there are trends that happen. With the maybe the videos, the reels, and things like that, stuff that you can try to jump on. But as far as style and the way I'm doing it, now I'm staying in my own lane.
Yeah, I feel that. I know that when like COVID hit, everybody was getting no EDILs, and I did too. I got $35,000 for my business, but no one else in my realm did, and it was because they didn't set their business up properly. So I mean, the little things matter, and I am certified with the government, whereas none of my friends are. None of my friends even thought of that. So I mean, being in my own lane has gotten me in places. I mean, I was on the blocks with you because I took a chance and was like, I want to do this. Whereas, most of my network is like, why are you doing all these things?
Yeah.
But it's working for me. So, I mean, yeah, standing your own lane is a really good thing that we should all do. But I do keep my eye on them. I mean, I have a system
Absolutely.
that measures my analytics based on the competitors that I put in. So, I mean, I'm watching my competitors. I'm not watching them every day, but once a month I go in there and be like, okay, how do I rate?
Yeah. You see them. You see them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ain't got
I be
that's
loving that LinkedIn report.
up.
Be like, you're number one in posts and you're number one in engagement. I'm not number one in followers, but I'm number one everywhere else. So I'm getting
Yeah.
I love that. You stay in your own lane, you get what you're supposed to have.
Hmm.
And that's all you can ask for. Okay. So walk us through one of your most empowering entrepreneurship experiences thus far.
Probably my first release. Like the first release I had, because like the work that I put out, I worked with someone else because I didn't have all the experience at that time. So I worked with someone else to create a design.
Mhm.
And it's a lot to me, you know what I mean? I think it could resonate with me. I felt like it could resonate with it, you know what I'm saying, others, you know what I mean? And so that first one was probably really, really it meant the most to me. You know what I mean? It meant the most to me and just getting it out there like we learned. The product, it ain't always gotta be perfect, but you do have to have the courage to actually put it out. And
Mhm.
I think I did, and I think that gave me the courage to kind of keep going. You
Mhm.
know, every release not gonna be like this, everyone not gonna be just jumping. Some gonna be low, some gonna be slow, but you're gonna have your highs and your lows. And that first one taught me that is it that you have an audience, you have people who gonna support you, you have people who gonna love the product, and
Mhm.
that's just what I try to hang on to.
Yeah, that's definitely good. I think my most empowering experience was seeing someone who had similar disabilities as me, and she felt like she couldn't share.
Yeah.
And so that made me feel like I needed to. I'm vocal anyway, but I'm vocal, in the streets. I wasn't vocal on the internet. So
Mhm.
I mean, I felt like, just being able to share my my issues and be relatable could help someone who also was an entrepreneur and felt like they didn't have someone that felt like they felt, or was experiencing anything they were experiencing, or who wanted to do it and was like, I can't because I got this.
Yeah.
So that was powerful for me because I saw how she struggled, and she didn't have to. She
Yeah.
had a really good support system, and nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So that was empowering to me because now people are always asking me how is it that you can talk so openly about it, and how is it that you can do all these things, and I mean that's encouraging to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. It most definitely is for sure. You never
Okay,
know who's gonna see.
that is true. Yes, and I'm all about visibility and transparency, and that has been really getting me indoors and places that most people aren't. Um, just being able to have a conversation, be a resource, be an encouragement, not always about the sale. That has really worked for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Most
so now we're gonna get into this little touchy piece. As a woman of color and the various other things, I don't
Mhm.
know if you share those things, but the various other things.
Oh, I definitely do. I'm open about
Okay.
it. You can ask.
Okay. So, what perspective do you think your color brings to the table? And should that even be a question?
I mean, do I think it should be a question? Yeah. And I say that in the sense of we have no control over that. It's
Mhm.
always a question. It's always going to be a question when we step through the door, when they see that face, when they see that name, or whatever the case may be. It's always going to be a question. So we might as well embrace it, right?
Mhm.
But my thing is when you say like that question, repeat that first part of that question.
As a woman of color, what unique perspectives do you bring to the table? So
Do
it's
you
like a play on the just because you black, you gotta eat chicken. It's like a play on that. So because of you being black, what you got?
I mean my perspective is my perspective in the sense of this. Like I'll say this. I went to an all white a private college.
Ooh.
I went to Southern Methodist University. I was there on a full scholarship for sports, right? I played basketball, right? And so my perspective is what it is, and it's based on my experience. You know what I mean? So yes, I'm gonna have that perspective from a black woman, from a woman who's a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? From a family person, woman. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have all that, but I also have all of this knowledge too. Like the doors that I walked in, some of them were simply because I had this college on my resume. Nobody knew what I knew.
Mhm.
Nobody knew, necessarily what I looked like. But when I walked in there, did see a black woman. They did see eventually probably this woman she's a lesbian. You know what I mean? So it's like I bring so much more to the table. It's beyond that color. And I think once people open that door and they ask that question, and when I say that question, it could be any question, you know what I'm saying? Because the knowledge is there. You know what I mean? Like I the role that I'm in now, it shows, you know what I mean? I'm 30, I'm 36 years old, and most of the people in my field 40, 50, 60 years old. You know what I mean? I didn't get here by doing anything that I wasn't supposed to. I got here because of, you know what I'm saying? Is so when they say what perspective I bring the same perspective, if not more, than the next person.
Mhm.
Beyond.
Love that. With our current climate of they're taking away affirmative action and they want to complain because they have grants for Black people and women and all the things, I just want to know everyone's different perspectives on that because, like, I know for me, people say that I'm bougie or I am overly confident and all the things, and I'm like, but why? Why can't I be excited and proud for what I bring because I bring a lot,
Yeah.
and so I'm just trying to reshape the narrative and not make it such a offensive question to be
Mhm.
like, oh, you black, what you got? It shouldn't be that, it should be, oh well, let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
So
Let me
yes.
tell you what I know, because let me open your mind real quick.
People, I know when I was growing up, I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. I was taught that you do what you're supposed to do. You keep your head down. You don't cause trouble. You be as smart as you can. You get it done. And so, like in my journey, I've always had people to say, "Oh, well, you sound so nice." What that mean? Oh, you so proper. What that mean? Or you don't fit the role, so that's why I didn't get promotions. You know what I'm saying? So to say what is my black perspective, I don't really understand that. I have my perspective,
Mhm.
and the way you perceive me is your issue and not my issue, and so I'm not no longer going to be catering to how you feel.
Hmm. Come on, somebody.
I had to learn that. I had to learn that.
Yeah.
Because I literally was told that a girl who had only been in the position for 3 months was more qualified to be my supervisor, and I'd been there for 7 years.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
so,
I I don't
I want to ask all of us that question because I really want to know what is it people think about me asking you what you bring to the table because you black.
I brought the table. Do you hear me?
So
That's
many,
how
so
you
many
gotta
times.
that's huh?
I said so many times have I brought the table.
That's how we gotta look at it though, man. That's how we gotta look at it, keep it light, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I can't do nothing with how you feel, and you can't make me feel how you feel. I know I'm blessed. I know it. I know it. I know it.
yeah.
And I've been through so many things, and I've always been blessed. So, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep on having my blessings, and you can go over there and have a little fit because you didn't get something because you won't.
Yeah.
Although you think I got something because I was, and I didn't.
Yeah.
That's your perception again.
Yeah.
I'm graceful with my spot. I ain't getting everything I'm supposed to get. I'm just graceful with it.
Yeah.
But I
Exactly.
think some people need to change their narrative of how they think of what they deserve.
Yeah.
Because I think too the narrative is a little weird in that are you willing to work as hard as we worked because we had to prove we deserved the spot that we got? So you now saying, oh well, I want the job, but you're gonna give it to him because of okay. So when you get the job, are you going to do the job? Can you do the job?
Yeah.
So
We've all seen that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So that was one of my questions. Okay, we have two more. Don't want to
Mhm.
keep you all night.
Good.
What is it that you're most excited about that you have coming up in your business?
Just some of the releases that I'm planning to jump off this year. I have a new design in the works that I'm actually going to be using from a logo standpoint. Because I got my GW, you know what I mean? But I wanted to be more. I wanted to pop them in the face, you know? Um, so I'm excited about that. That's already in the works. And just excited about some of the lines that I'm gonna be releasing this summer. And just for the summer, I am gonna release just a small piece for the kids, you know. I'm gonna release a small little piece this summer for the kids, shorts and shirts, even a couple of sets. Like I said, I'm trying to get it all together because some are gonna be on our back before we know it. And
Yeah.
I just wanna produce a product that I'm proud of. I wanna a product that people are they okay, like, yeah, I'm rocking this, you know? I feel good in it, I look good in it, let's go, you know?
Yes.
That's my motivation.
Yes. Make me a onesie so I can give it to my grandchild. Because she or he is going to be gifted and winning for real.
Yes, we all got a gift, man. We gotta use it.
Yes, I have many. Many. Okay. To close, as an experienced entrepreneur now, what would you say to someone who's about to embark on their own journey, especially if they're nervous or uncertain?
I would say that it's not gonna be perfect. It, if you hold out on your release or starting your journey based on, oh, I'm just gonna wait until it's perfect, you're never gonna start. So my experience is get it out there. Put you some fillers out, whether it be, I don't know, whatever your realm is, whether it be social media, ads, Google, whatever the case may be, get some fillers out there and put it out there. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, because as long as it's in your head and it's not perfect and you're not releasing it, nobody will ever see it. Nobody will ever be impacted by it. Nobody will ever feel it. So get it. I don't care how good or bad it is, because guess what? If it's terrible, you can only go up from there.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. That's what I did with my conference. It was a whim, and I planned it, and we did it, and 13 people showed up. So I was like, all right. I registered it, and we've been going ever since. But I mean, I
Yeah.
had to test it first. Like, is people gonna show up for this? So I
Yeah.
mean, yes, definitely putting it out there imperfectly is the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to say thank you again. I appreciated the conversation. I had a good time. See, it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt at all.
Okay, so I want to say thank you to our guest, Miss Delisha Wolf, and remind you all that we're not just talking, we're sharing, growing, and reshaping the narrative of what entrepreneurship could be for women. And do not forget to shop giftedandwinning.com and support her. Thank you very much. Until the next time.